Welcome to City Boys Podcast. Yours truly, D Mace.
Man, Wash here.
Got Wash right here. And for those of you that don't know, I'm not a pastor. Wash is a pastor.
Yeah, it's been about 21 years now.
21 years. And what we've done is we want to bring both dynamics. You know, most of the time I may play advocate and, try to push some buttons and everything. And, Wash being a pastor will probably, bring the divine.
No, I'm gonna still bring the Northeast perspective.
We hoping so. We hoping so. But listen, we're talking about our health journeys. I did mine last week, and now we're gonna do Wash's health journey, and we are on some incredible journeys here. I have kidney failure. Not only do I have kidney failure, I have hypertension or high blood pressure that I'm managing, diabetes that I'm managing, just a lot of different things that, we go through, and it's very, very tough. I wouldn't wish this on anybody. But we just going to just tell you where we are and get into our health journeys.
Yeah.
So Wash.
Yeah.
Everybody that knows and everybody that doesn't know, you have Lyme disease.
I do.
And you've been battling with that
for 18 years now.
For 18 years, you have been battling that. And I remember when it first happened because I was at Bladensburg and things had went down, and it was rough. When you came back, I could kind of almost see it in your demeanor, and like I say, the messages that came were like incredible. I don't know if the disease prompted some things or just opened up some things or what, but the messages and sermons at that time were like incredible. But educate us first. We want to get educated on what Lyme disease is and what it affects in your body. What is Lyme disease? Talk about what Lyme disease is.
Okay, so Lyme disease is an autoimmune disease that you get from the transmission of tick bites.
Okay.
I didn't know that I had gotten bit, but it's an autoimmune disease that under a microscope, it actually looks like syphilis under a microscope. But it can affect any part of your body. It can affect any organ.
Really?
It can affect any system. It's a evil disease. There's also a big conspiracy theory as to why it's here in the first place. Some believe that during World War II, the Nazis dropped these infected ticks in the northeastern part of the country to kill off American citizens. The first Lyme case was found in the area of Martha's Vineyard, that area, northeastern part of the country.
Right.
And there are a lot of people that are suffering with this, but are not getting the proper care that they probably should be. But it's an autoimmune disease that can lead to death if not taken care of. The problem that I deal with is I didn't just catch Lyme disease. I caught other co-infections that ticks can transmit.
Really?
Yeah. And that's what made things really complicated and bad for me. But I didn't know that I had gotten infected when I did, and kept getting misdiagnosed. And
how long was that process of misdiagnosis?
Oh, man. So let's start from the beginning. I was I am a pastor, and every year we got this thing called camp meeting.
Okay.
That's in Pennsylvania. And so for 10 days, people go up there for worship services, to pray, connect with God, that whole thing. And so before camp meeting, we would go up there to prepare stuff to get ready for the 10 days.
Right.
So I was going up there. It was the summer of 2009. And I was going back and forth every week. And I remember that summer, I caught what felt like a summer flu.
Okay.
Right. And so I took some over-the-counter stuff and got a little better and felt like I was back to myself. When I got home, I don't remember, but my wife said to me, she said, "You slept for 2 days straight."
Really?
She said, I remember you slept for 2 days straight. I remember coming home being incredibly fatigued. I do remember that. I just remember saying, I'm tired, I'm tired, I'm tired. And I don't know, I attribute it to how hard I was working during camping. As I was,
Summertime.
summertime, the heat.
Heat.
But I just remember telling Eric, man, I'm tired, I'm tired. So of course, everybody's a doctor when you get sick. So you need to take more vitamins, you need to drink more water, you need to do this. And I'm doing all this stuff, but I'm still tired. So September that year, I remember doing a little revival at the church.
So from summertime
So
to
June,
September.
June to September.
June to September. Okay.
Between June, July, I had gotten bit. Sometime during that period, I had gotten bit. That summer flu that I was feeling were the initial symptoms of the Lyme disease.
And what do those symptoms look like?
At that time,
because people may not know.
At that time,
Yeah.
early on, fatigue, felt like I had a cold,
Okay.
headaches. I remember one weekend at church, we was having communion, and my head was hurting so bad, I had to sit down during communion. I remember that. But again, I'm attributed it to the travel, going back and forth every week. I'm busy, I'm working. So that at that time, it was just basically flu-like symptoms. That's what flu-like symptoms when I first got sick. But I need to say this: no two Lyme patients are the same, so it can affect everybody differently.
Okay.
So I get home, I'm doing revival, and I remember every night going into the church feeling dog tired. Just tired. And I'm, my naive self. I'm like, man, the devil just don't want me to preach. He's just trying to make me tired. But I would get up every night and preach. But I remember going in there tired. And so at the end of the revival, it's like my body couldn't take it anymore and I crashed. All right. And I'm like, man, I just need to get some rest. We talked a little bit about this on the part one of our health journeys. It's like, you're not necessarily thinking the worst. You're just thinking, man, I'm just do this and I'll be fine. So I'm like, let me get some rest. And on the other side, I'll be good. I never got good though. Yeah. So literally every week I started getting worse. And I remember going to see my doctor and my doctor was like, yeah, you got a flu. So I'm like, I'm not connecting it back to June at this point.
Right.
She's like, you got a flu. I said, well, how long? You got to let it run its course. You got to let the flu run its course. And I'm like, well, how long is a course? 5 to 7 days or whatever. And I'm just like, man, this drink is taking a little long. Well, I bit the bullet and I was like, because I'm like you, I don't necessarily like doctors either. Right. I'm like, let me go in here. They did blood work. Let's test your liver, your kidney functions, all this type of stuff. I've always been a good sized dude. So doctors have always thought I had stuff that I didn't have. And they said, let's test you for mono. And since you live in Maryland, I'll never forget this. Since you live in Maryland, let's test you for Lyme. All right. I didn't know what that was at the time. I had never heard of it.
Around what time was this because we say June to September. So
this September.
So this was September when you got diagnosed and blood work and all of that stuff done? Or was that after September?
Yes, September.
Okay.
September. And got the blood work, but the doctor's saying everything's normal. So I remember she calls me back. She said, there's 2 more tests out, but it's just a cold. That's what she's telling me. It's just a cold. You'll be all right. Well, man, I'm sweating already talking about this thing. She says there's 2 tests out. She calls me back in a week. She said, Mr. Washington, we got the 2 other tests back in. She said, you tested negative for mono, but you tested positive for Lyme. Now, Mace, when she said that, believe it or not, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Because I'm finally getting a name to what I feel. Because the other thing is, at this time, like, nobody knows what your body is supposed to feel like more than you.
Right.
You know what you're supposed to feel like. You know what you're not supposed to feel like.
Correct.
And something wasn't feeling, I just didn't feel like myself, man. Um, this is gonna sound weird, man, but there was a point where I felt like stuff was crawling around inside my body,
Wow.
and it was just a weird feeling. I'm like, this ain't right. And so when I got a name for it, I'm excited. I never forget. My wife was in the bathroom at the time. I ran in there. I was like, "Yo, they said I got Lyme disease."
Yeah.
And I mean, I didn't know what was on the other side of that excitement, but I'm like, "Yo, we got a name for it." Now, my wife wasn't that excited because she had heard about Lyme disease before and possible effects. So I'm gonna go forward and then come backwards. So when I find that out, I go on the internet, Google Lyme disease, and I see all this stuff. Man, let me tell y'all something. That's probably one of the worst things you can ever do when you get a diagnosis and go online and see stuff, because I'm reading all this stuff and I'm like, oh snap. And when I get to the bottom, it said severe cases can lead to death. But the symptoms that it's talking about, I'm not having all those symptoms. So I'm like, well, this ain't me.
Right.
I probably got a mild case or whatever. So I say to the doctor, man, what does this mean? I got Lyme disease. What does that mean? She said, Mr. Washington, now I didn't know the medical community is terribly ignorant about Lyme disease.
Yeah.
All right.
'Cause I have no clue what it is, what it affects outside of just knowing you.
Okay.
And some of the things that you've told me. Talk about this. When you found out that you had it,
Yeah.
did things stay the same or did things get worse?
Oh, they got incredibly worse. And I'm going to tell you why. The doctor said, Mr. Washington, there's one medicine you can take twice a day. There's another one you could take three times a day. Which one do you want?
Okay.
I'm saying, which one do I want? I'm a pastor. That's like you coming to ask me, where's the book of Matthew? And I'm like, man, well, there's one. Like, how would I know that? I don't know nothing about this disease. I don't even know the medicine you giving me. So I said, I don't know, give me one for 3 times a day. Because at this time, I'm starting to get joint pain in my body. So I want these weird feelings and this pain to go away. So I'm thinking the more dosage, the quicker I'm going. Because she said, you take this in a couple of days, it'll clear up, you'll be fine.
Right.
Sends it over to the pharmacy. I still remember to this day, man, going to get the medicine from the pharmacy. I came home and I started taking that medicine. Well, let me go back. I'm sorry. Before this happened, when I first got sick, I went to urgent care.
Okay.
And I'm going to intentionally leave some stuff out because I got this book I'm writing on this called Still Standing, My Fight with Lyme Disease. And I want y'all to buy this book. So I'm gonna leave some cliffhangers so y'all can buy this book. But I took a Z-Pack for a week because this was also the year that swine flu was an epidemic.
And what's a Z-Pack?
A Z-Pack is
Those that don't know.
is a pack of 5 antibiotic pills you take every day.
Okay.
I took that for 5 days, and by the end of the week, I got worse. So when I got worse, I'm like, so what's really going on? And that's when I went to my doctor to get the blood work and all that type of stuff.
Right.
So I took that medicine that my doctor gave me for the Lyme disease for 1 week. And by the end of the week, I couldn't walk no more.
Literally couldn't walk.
I could not walk, man. So I usually cry when I say that, so I'm trying to hold it together. When I could not walk, I started saying, okay, what's really going on? At the time, we lived in a 3-level townhouse.
Right.
And at this time, I'm 28 years old. So I'm still playing ball like 4 times a week. I always been a gym rat, man. So I was hooping. And I remember one day, this was prior to me taking the medicine. One day I walked to the 3rd level. The 3rd floor was just our bedroom. When I got up there, I was just breathing real hard. And I'm saying to myself, what in the world is going on? Last week, I was just in the gym hooping, putting up buckets. I could shoot. I really could shoot. I was putting up buckets. I could not breathe, yo. So I couldn't walk no more. So we're like, man, what's going on? So my mind starts rehearsing some of the stuff on Google that I read. My wife drives me to my doctor again. They meet us at the car with a wheelchair. They wheel me in. Remember, I had just seen my doctor. So when I get in front of her, she's like, "Why are you back? Why are you here?" I'm like, "Man, I can't walk." She says, "And why can't you breathe?" Man, I don't know. Like,
Did you think things were over at its worst point at that time? Can't breathe and can't walk?
did I think it was at his work? That's a great question, man. Wow.
Because you were just hooping last week.
Did I think it was at his
at
worst
this
point? No, because of what I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
Because I wasn't breathing, the doctor leaves the room and a tech comes in to do a EKG. She says, "Mr. Washington, we need to do an EKG. Have you ever had an EKG before?" I said, "No, I don't even know what an EKG is." She was like, "Yeah, you're young." I was 28. She was like, "Yeah, you've never had it." So the tech puts the things on me. They put these
Leads.
these leads, they call them, on your body here and on your legs. She does it. Now I know legally the tech cannot tell me the results of the test. When it finished, though, there was something in her eyes that I said something wrong. Something wrong. So I said to her, "Is everything all right?" And she looked at me and was like, "The doctor will be in to talk to you."
in to talk to you.
I was like, "Something ain't right."
I know what that is.
She leaves the room. She comes back in a second time.
Right.
She does it again. I'm like, okay. She leaves the room again. She comes back in a third time. The third time she comes in with the doctor. The doctor comes in ranting and raving. "This can't be right. I need to make sure you're doing this right." It was a white doctor, black tech. I feel like she was going in on her, acting like she didn't know what she was doing, right?
Right.
But she was like, "I need to watch you do it." So she watched her do it. She did it the same way. Yeah, right. So she looks at the results and then looks at me. She said, "Mr. Washington, are you okay?" And I'm like, "I mean, not really. That pain is starting to set in. Can't breathe." She wanted me to go see a neurologist because I was having these headaches. She said, "Forget the neurologist. You need to go see a cardiologist right now." Now, what I didn't know was the infection was spreading to the lining of my heart. I didn't know this at the time. I found this out later. It was spreading to the lining of my heart to the point that it looked like I was having a heart attack.
Okay.
So they came in and gave me a aspirin, and she went to call a cardiologist buddy to see me. And man, we get in the car because you asked me, did I think that was the worst? I remember that ride, man. It was just like, man, what's going on with me? Because when I went back to see my doctor, she says to me, "You don't have Lyme disease then. You got something else." So what I got now, this is what the blood work is saying. Now, I didn't know this at the time. You could, God forbid, had Lyme disease right now, take blood work and it not show up on the blood work because Lyme has cycles and you may get tested at a time where Lyme is not dominant. Lyme, it's an evil disease, man. I mean, you could start taking medicine and it start working, and then it's like the Lyme disease, like, "Oh, you think you got me? Well, I'm a morph like this," and then the treatments that you was taking don't work no more.
Wow.
So I remember riding to the cardiologist, man. You know, I'm a pastor, so I gotta throw this in there, man. I felt like the woman at the with the issue of blood. I'm going from doctor to doctor. Ain't nobody giving me no help.
Right.
So we get to the cardiologist, man. They do another EKG. It's terribly abnormal. So then they do an echogram. You know what that is? Echogram is like it's a sonogram of your heart. And I remember going into the city college. He was like, "Have you ever had problems with your heart before?" I said, "No." He said, "Well, listen, I don't know if you've always had a heart problem or if this has been brought on by the Lyme disease, because we have nothing to check and balance that on. But I'm saying I ain't never had no heart problems. I ain't never couldn't breathe. I had asthma when I was a kid, grew out of it, but I ain't had no. And so he says, man, I don't know if I can say on camera what he really said to me. Can I?
Yeah, you said.
He was like, you look like shit.
Wow.
That's what the cardiologist told me. He was like, man, you look like shit. And I ain't a Lyme doctor. I'm a cardiologist. Your heart is working, but it's weak. I ain't a Lyme doctor. I'm a cardiologist. So we'll see you in a couple weeks. And he sent me home. So I got home, suffering in bed. By this time,
When you say let me when you say suffering in bed,
yeah.
I don't think people really understand what that feels or what that looks like. Talk about suffering at home, your kids, your wife,
So
your pastoring. What does that look like? What does that feel like?
So my son is 2.5 years old at the time.
Right.
He actually went to live with my in-laws in Michigan for almost a year during that time because of how bad I was. And so that my wife could give the care to me because we didn't know what was going to happen at the time because it gets worse. So I remember what made my wife make this decision, and it was a great blessing. My son came upstairs and touched me, and it hurt. He just went like this, and I was like that. And she saw his facial reaction. She was like, "This ain't good. He can't see this."
It was really that painful.
Man, I was in. So the best way I can describe it is somebody taking like real big, sharp nails and sticking it in every inch of your body, pulling it out and doing it again. Just unbearable pain, man. I can't, to be honest with you, it's indescribable. I can't really describe the level of pain that I was in because I never thought that level of pain existed.
As a man, mentally, how did that make you feel?
I was legitimate depressed. Pain will make you do things that peace never will, man. I remember, I don't know if this is later, my timeline may be off. That's why you gotta get the book. But I remember my wife came upstairs one time and I was just like, what are you doing? What did you just finish doing? She was like, oh, I took the trash out. Man, that thing made me feel, and I'm not that type dude that believes in, gender roles like that and stuff like that. But I take the trash out. My wife don't need to do that. And to know she had to do that, man, I just was like, man, I can't do nothing, man. And I'm just suffering in bed, man, really not knowing what's going to be the end of this story, because clearly the medicine ain't helping, number one. And I didn't, like, there's no improvement, not even a little bit. There is not even minimal. There is only, it's getting worse. It keeps getting worse. The pain keeps getting worse. The headaches, everything's getting worse.
Wow.
And then Saturday night happened. Saturday night happened, man. It was a Saturday night in October. We're in October now. And it's about 5:00 in the afternoon, evening. I'm suffering in bed, and all of a sudden I start getting this neck pain. The neck pain feels like whiplash, like I had been in a car accident.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it started. And like every 30 minutes, it intensified to the point that around, I don't know, 2 hours later or so, it felt like there was a bonfire on the back of my head and neck.
Man.
I've never experienced that in my life. I was scared, man.
Did you think it was over?
That night, no, because Sunday night happened too. But let's get to Saturday night. I told my wife what was going on. And we went to the hospital. I ain't gonna say which hospital because of some stuff that happened there, but we went to the hospital, got in the room. Triage. We went to triage, and man, I was in so much pain. I couldn't even hardly talk, man. I couldn't even hardly think. And the nurse is asking me questions, a million questions a minute. And I'm just like, I'm pointing to my wife, like, ask her. She's like, well, I don't want to talk to her. I want to talk to you. And I don't even know what's going on. And I just remember her yelling out, we got a meningitis case, put a mask on. And I'm like, what y'all using these big words? I don't know what's going on, man. And they finally get me in a room. The doctor comes in there, asks me what's going on. And at this point, even though doctors are not really confident about the Lyme, this is what the blood work is telling me. So that's all I have to go off of. So I said, man, I have Lyme disease. He said, you got what? I got Lyme disease. He said, we all have Lyme disease, man. What? Listen, you have swine flu. Everybody's coming in the hospital looking like you.
Hold on. So you got blood work
Yes.
that says you have Lyme disease.
Yes.
You've been on this medication and these vitamins, and you go back to the doctor because of this intense pain.
No, this is emergency room.
Emergency room.
Yeah.
And he's telling you, we all have Lyme disease. You got swine
I'll
flu.
never forget that night.
See why I hate doctors?
Yeah.
In hospitals?
Yeah.
The blood work is saying,
Oh, it's gonna get
this
worse.
is what I have.
You ain't got that. You ain't got that. Everybody's coming to the hospital. Everybody's coming to the emergency room looking like you with all your same symptoms. He was like, but let's do the swine flu test. You know what the swine flu test is? You know what that is?
No.
Swine flu test is very similar to the test for COVID. Very similar, but different. God was in his bag when he made our bodies, because I didn't even know that this was possible. So they have this long cotton swab that they stuck down my nose that went all the way down to my throat. I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know it can go straight down like that, man. They go down there to get a culture. And they take the culture. They still ain't gave me no pain meds or nothing. It took them a long time to finally get an IV and give me some medicine that helped alleviate whatever was going on. And so he comes back in, I'm doing a little better. He said, oh, see, you doing better. I said, so I had swine flu? No, I came back negative. But there's a such thing as false positive. He turns to my wife and says, just give him some ibuprofen, some Gatorade and water. He's not going to die tonight. You can take him home.
He said he's not going to die.
I'll never forget that. So my wife got man, she was so pissed, man. She got our stuff. But when we went in the lobby, man, it was legit at least 30 or 40 members from the church that was in the lobby. Because I didn't know at the time, the word was going out, I was dying that night. So people was literally coming to, see their last, man. They thought it was over.
My pastors.
They thought it was over.
Check out.
I didn't think it was over that night.
Right.
I thought it was over Sunday night though. The next night, the pain came back.
Same pain,
but more intense. But I ain't tell my wife for a little while. She could tell something was going on, but I ain't tell her. The reason I ain't tell her is because we weren't going back to that hospital. When I was at Oakwood,
might have been a hospital that I was in that had a bad experience.
It could have been. No, it wasn't that one.
Oh, okay.
But when I was in college, I was playing intramurals. I got a concussion, so they did a spinal tap. And when they did the spinal tap, they tapped the nerve, so my speech was gone for like a week. And I felt like because this was something going on in my head, they was gonna have to do that again. That's what I'm thinking through my mind, and I don't want them to do that. You can get paralyzed from a spinal tap. The spinal tap is similar to when women get epidural when they're having a baby. They gotta stick a long needle up your spine. So I ain't say nothing. So she comes upstairs and she was like, are you doing all right? And I finally broke down. I was like, man, this pain is coming back. Well, a former member, I don't know how he found out, but he heard what was going on. So he convinces my wife to bring me to another hospital so that they could see what's going on. So she brings the phone up to my ear. He said, hey, Pastor, listen, your brain is nothing to play with, man. I'm not on duty tonight, but I know everybody working. They're going to take real good care of you. You're not even going to have to wait in the emergency room, but you need to get in so we can see what's going on. So she took the phone. She said, so are we going? I said, no, I ain't want to go still. But in 10 minutes, that pain went from 10 to 45. She comes back upstairs. I said, come on, we got to go. The hospital was in Baltimore. We was living in Columbia at the time. It felt like an hour drive. It probably was only like 30 minutes. But I just remember being crushed up in a ball in the passenger seat.
Could you walk?
No, I couldn't walk.
Okay.
She had to assist me to the car.
Okay.
I thought that was my last night. Legit. I had never felt pain like that before in my head.
What did it feel like?
It felt like I was losing my mind. It felt like it was a big old fire on the back of my head that was just there. And that pain accompanied all the other pain I was already having in my whole body.
Your entire body?
My entire body was already had been in pain. So I remember, man, I was confessing sins I ain't even know if I did or not because I thought that was it.
Since you went there, at this time, when you being a pastor,
Yeah.
where was your faith level at this time?
At that time, be honest, at that time, my faith was pretty high, man.
Okay. But nothing's happening.
Nothing's happening.
You in pain. You still going through this.
I'm in
It's like,
terrible pain.
Where you at? Where's God in all of this?
Nah, man. You know, it's funny. I'm gonna get there because it gets worse. But at that time, strangely enough, at that time, I was still incredibly optimistic. Like, man,
Okay.
I just need to get in front of a doctor that can
Okay.
get this rectified. That's kind of where my head was at, I wouldn't say I wasn't angry at God, but my faith was not weak or non-existent, man. I was still pretty optimistic. I just was like, man, I just need to get better. The other thing is this, to be honest with you, I was in so much pain. If this makes sense, I was in so much pain, I didn't really have time to think about my faith. The pain was so intense. I'm literally just trying to get through the intense pain.
Get some relief.
Yeah. So I ain't really have time to think about faith. God, where are you? Not at that time. I'm just like, so I remember getting to the hospital. I confessed all my sins on that drive. Asked God to take care of my family. We get there. It's late at night. I remember they met us at the car with a wheelchair. They wheeled me in. Soon as we got in there, I hear a lady screaming. I said, oh, no, this ain't the right hospital, man. This lady is like screaming to the top of her lungs. And I remember waiting in the waiting room all of probably 3 minutes. And because it's with my head, they take me downstairs and do a CAT scan. The CAT scan is clean. So they take me to a room. They said, Mr. Washington, we're going to have to do a spinal tap. When he said that, man, I started crying. I said,
So this is another spinal tap.
Yes. I said, please, can y'all please find another way? Can y'all please do something else? They said, unfortunately, Mr. Watt, this is the only way we had to find out what's really going on. I said, I was in that joint crying, man. So I finally went for it. I rolled on the side, crunched up to a ball, man, was just praying. Again, my faith wasn't weak, so I was in that joint praying, God, help this procedure. And I know the doctor probably was annoyed because every 5 minutes I was like, are you done? Are you done? Are you done? A little bit longer. You okay, Mr. Washington? When he finally finished, I felt the needle come out my back. And then he went quiet. I said, everything all right? He didn't say nothing. He finally said, I remember him saying something like, you had some initial pressure, something, but we need to admit you. So I remember they rolled me back to what it seemed like the remote part of the hospital.
Yeah.
And when I got admitted into the hospital, things started changing in the regards of, man, I'm a pastor. I go see people. People don't come see me. I go see people in the hospital, right? And mentally, that didn't resonate well with me. I'm in the hospital, and I remember they gave me every pain medicine I could think of, and none of it took the pain away.
Wow.
All it did was knock me out, and then when it wore off, the pain would rush back in. I remember one morning I woke up and my arm was like this big, and I buzzed the nurse. The nurses took, man, so good care of me at that hospital, man. Shout out to Franklin Square in Baltimore. Those nurses there
Yeah.
treated me like I was royalty, man. And so my arm was like this big. I buzzed the nurse. I said, look at this. She said, oh, that's not good. So they started giving me shots in my stomach every morning. Infectious disease doctor came in and they drew blood for me for about 45 minutes one day. And I remember this white infectious disease doctor, she came in there, she turned beet red. She said, Mr. Washington, we know you're a pastor, but you mind if we test you for AIDS? I said, listen, ma'am.
Hold on. They wanted to test you for AIDS?
Yeah, because.
Based off of these symptoms?
Yes. And my response was, at that time, go ahead and do it. Because, first of all, tell me something I don't know. But also, if this is what I have, then at least we know. Because at this time, there's so much ambiguity. Do I have Lyme? Do I not have Lyme? This doctor telling me this. This doctor telling me that. This doctor telling me something else. I could have seen 10 doctors and all 10 of them tell me something different. So there's so much ambiguity as to what's really going on with me. She came back 10 minutes later. It was like, well, Mr. Washington, you tested negative for AIDS. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, like, tell me something I don't know.
Right.
So they finished the blood work. They came in and they said, Mr. Washington, again, we don't think you have Lyme disease. We believe you have lupus or rheumatoid arthritis. And we want you to go see a rheumatoid arthritis specialist.
What month was this in? Because
We are-
I'm looking at the timeline.
Yep,
Because real quick, some research that I've done, I looked up, is Lyme disease curable?
Right.
And it came back, yeah, if it's caught early.
Correct.
So now, what month are you in? So we got June to September. They
We're
don't really
in
know what's
October.
going on.
We're in
So
October.
now we're in October.
Yeah.
All that time passes. Okay.
Yeah. You got lupus or rheumatoid arthritis. We want you to see a rheumatoid arthritis specialist.
Okay.
So, man, when she said that, I turned to my wife and I said, man, if I'm gonna die, take me home.
Hold on. So at this point, when you got to go see the rheumatoid arthritis doctor,
I never went to go see one.
but you got mentally to the point, if I'm going to check out, I'm going to check out.
Well, at that point, I felt as if I had something that was beyond the knowledge of doctors. I had something that they knew nothing about. That's what I felt like. I felt like I had something that they can't help, because if they could have helped me, they would have done it already. How many times I got to go to a doctor? How many times I got to come to the emergency room?
Right.
And I'm leaving 10 times worse. So obviously I got something that is beyond whatever y'all learned.
How does your wife feel when you told her that? I got to check out. I got to check out. You're looking at your wife.
It wasn't more so if I got to check out, I got to check out. It was more so they're not helping me. So the only end result I see of this is death. That's if nothing is improving based on my symptoms and what's going on.
Right. Right.
So I didn't want to, for whatever reason, I don't know why I felt this way, but I didn't want to die in the hospital.
Okay.
I wanted to go home, be in the comfort of my home. So the infectious disease doctor said there's a couple tests that are still out. You can stay if you want. And that's when I said, no, I'm getting out of here. So they kept me for about a week.
Mm-hmm.
When I got home, they changed. I was taking amoxicillin. It's
Mm-hmm.
a antibiotic
Yeah.
that if you catch it early, it'll be fine. They switched me to doxycycline,
Right.
which is a little strong. But I mean, at that time, based on what I was really dealing with, I might as well have been just popping Tic Tacs or something because that wasn't doing nothing.
Right.
But when I got home, it went from worse to whatever.
Hell.
Yeah. So there was a window when I got home. Those next 2 weeks, man, we didn't know whether was I gonna live or die, because I was only staying awake maybe like 20 or 30 minutes at the most, and then I'd be out for like 6, 7 hours. I was hallucinating. I didn't know where I was sometimes. Um, Ridiculous pain. The pain got worse. The nausea was terrible. Um, I could be watching TV and a commercial with food come on and I'd be about to throw up.
Mm.
The nausea was just, so I wasn't eating. I remember, again, my son was two and a half at the time. I remember she came up because she was like, man, you got to eat something. You got to drink something, whatever. Because she has always been incredibly optimistic on this whole
Okay.
journey. I've been she tried to feed me a little peanut butter and jelly sandwich or whatever. I remember, man, on the plate that my son was eating from, a little small plate. And I think I took a bite just to appease her, but I couldn't, I was nausea.
Right.
And I remember she left the room and I remember saying to God, like, okay, she's gone. Would you please take care of my wife and my son? My daughter wasn't born at the time. Can you just take care of them? And I'll see you on the other side. At that point, I was done. And when I woke up the next morning, man, I was the angriest black man in America. I was angry, man, because I was just like, man, why am I here? What you need me here for? I ain't doing nothing. I can't walk. I can barely talk. And I don't know if you experienced this in your journey, man. People just don't always know what to say. I mean, I remember laying in bed, man, and I get a text. I turn over and I see a text from somebody that I've known for years. And he said, man, how long the doctor's giving you?
Really?
Yeah, man. Just people have said some very interesting things, man. So, I've had to learn at times to withdraw because when you in that zone of pain, man, and I know you've been here, you got to really guard your mind against people, places, and things that will try to pull you down even more. You already down, and you got to focus on, man, just getting through. Somebody asked me, somebody said to me, they said, man, your faith is so strong. And I'm just like, I ain't look at it like that at the time. My thing was, listen, I got to concentrate on taking this next breath. Because if I can't catch this breath, it's going to be pretty bad.
Yeah.
That's what my focus was on. My focus was on gutting through the pain,
Right.
I wasn't able to get up and use the bathroom either during that 2-week period.
Really?
So that's why I felt, stuff was shutting down. I remember, man, I remember this day like it was yesterday, man. My wife came up there to the room and I told her to go get a Bible. And I was just telling her different psalms to read, man. And both of us was up in there crying. I needed to hear something positive. I needed to hear, God is gonna take care of me. I needed to hear God loves me. I needed to hear something encouraging. Because I remember somebody text her at the time, like, oh man, he has Lyme disease. dang, my friend had Lyme disease. He died. Like, I don't need to hear that. I don't need that. And so just struggling, man, during that time. And I didn't know what was gonna happen. I thought it was over. On the tail end of that period, I get a call from my mother. The Lord graced me to be able to be awake during the time. And she says, "How you doing, son?" I said, "Well, it's whatever." And she says, "Well, listen, I think we got a doctor that can help you." And so I said, man, I basically said, "Well, no, it's over for me. They can't no doctor help me."
You thought it was done.
Oh yeah, man. Because when I say y'all, I mean the medical community. If y'all could have helped me, I would have done it already.
Well, do you feel that you were at your lowest point in this journey?
No, not even close.
Wow.
Not even close. And it was low.
Talk about the doctor. Then we'll get to that.
She said, "Well, listen, I've talked to the doctor. I gave him your number. He's going to be calling you."
Right.
So I'm like, all right, whatever. But he can't help me either. Because at that point, I was not going to see any more doctors. That is for certain.
Okay.
I was not going to see any more. Because I'm like, man, y'all telling me all this stuff. And whether I live or die, y'all still won't get paid. But I'm still at home suffering. So I remember I always clown with him now when I talk to him. He's retired now. That first conversation, man, I felt like I was talking to an angel on the phone.
Really?
Yeah, man. I remember he called me, you know what I'm saying, "Hello. Hey, my friend, how you doing?" He said, "Your mom tells me you have Lyme disease." I said, "Doc, I don't know what I have. I've seen a bunch of doctors and everybody telling me something different." He said, "Well, tell me your story." So I go back to June, because I wasn't really at that time connecting the dots. So I go back to June and say, "Well, I had the summer flu." And within about 5 or 7 minutes, he stopped me. He said, "Hey, man, do you feel like this?" And I was like, "Yeah." He said, "Do you feel like this?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "When you do this, does this happen?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Man, how do you know?" He said, "Because I had Lyme disease. That's why I went into this specialty." He said, "But you need to hurry up and come see me before something worse happens."
Wow.
So I said, what's worse? What's worse than what I'm dealing with right now? I wasn't, you feeling like death, but you ain't thinking that.
Right.
And so even with that amazing conversation, I still was not going to see him.
Even though he told you
Yes.
everything that was going on.
Yes.
And it looked like it might be some hope. You still
Yes.
wasn't going to see.
No, sir. No, sir. I was that jaded with the medical community.
And let me tell our viewers that, because when you on the side of pain, disappointment, nobody can tell you what's going on. You popping pills. Us men, we feeling like less than a man.
Yes.
We got our wives or our people washing us up, helping us walk. It mentally, it destroys you mentally.
Man, something you just said, and I'm saying this now because it's happened multiple times during the journey of dealing with depression. I visited rooms of depression that I didn't even know existed. And I know that because, man, I was so depressed that I used to wonder why people are even smiling. What are you smiling for, man? It's, but I wasn't going to see no more doctors, man. I was absolutely done with doctors.
Right.
The only reason that I went to see him, Dr. Kenneth Singleton, man. Shout out to Dr. Singleton, man. The only reason I went is because my wife said, "We going." And so I remember we took that drive up to his office. And it's funny because when I got better, you get off this elevator and it's I don't know, 30 steps, man, that took me probably 15 minutes to get down to his office because I couldn't walk. My wife was on one side. My sister surprised us and flew up and came to the appointment, and they walked me in. When I walked in the office, I never forget, when I walked in the office, everybody stopped. Because my doctor told me later he had never seen a case my severe before.
Wow.
Everybody stopped.
Man.
Man, that was a tough time, man. I remember going in there, seeing him. A lot that he said I don't remember because I was out of it. But I do remember him saying, he said, I just need you to do everything I'm asking you to do, and I believe we can get you back to where you were. Do you trust me? I remember him saying that.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember looking at him like, man, I don't trust none of y'all, man. Now, his brother, that's how we got to know about him. His brother had been a family friend since I was like 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea he even had a brother. Had no idea his brother's specialty was in Lyme. But I knew his brother. Very close friend of the family. He was like, do you trust me? And I'm like, man, I don't trust none of y'all. That's what I'm saying to myself. And so he's telling my wife all these things that I have to do, whatever. And so I had a pick line. That was the first thing we had to do. You know what that is?
Tell our viewers and refresh.
So pick lines are used
educate
by pregnant mothers sometimes who can't eat,
Mm-hmm.
or cancer patients. A pick line is something that they put in your arm where the medicine can go straight inside of you with a drip that you can get at home.
Right.
So I remember going to get it. And my first question was, when am I going to start feeling better? Because that pain, man, when am I going to start feeling better? They said in 3 days, you're going to start feeling better. That's what they told me at the hospital.
Okay.
So I'm excited. I'm like, man, okay, all right. Day 1 passed. No better. I said, all right, well, it's day 1. They said it take 3 days.
Yeah, 3 days. Yeah.
Second day, no improvement. I said, well, I got to let the medicine get in. Man, the third day came and went. And when that day came and went and I was no better, I was severely depressed. Because I said, man, this guy don't know what he's talking about either. I couldn't believe it. I said, man, you get in front of somebody you think is going to help and you get this medicine and
Were you mad at God?
yeah, I was mad then. I was mad then, man. I was mad. During that time, me and God didn't have too much to say to each other.
Why were you mad?
I was mad because I took a posture like, man, I've been out here trying to work for you. You can't do this for me. You can't do this one thing. I used to just lay in bed and just cry, man. It'd be like, can you just give me 5 minutes of relief from this pain? I'll take it back on, but can you just take this away for 5 minutes? Just take the pain away for 5 minutes. And when it wouldn't happen, man, I would just lay in the bed and cry. Because it was just so painful, man. It was just incredibly painful. And I was mad because I got a almost 3-year-old son at the time. And I said to myself, man, if my son is suffering and I have the power to relieve his suffering, because I love him so much, I'm going to do it.
Just like that?
Yeah. And so I'm like, yo, you got the power to do this and you ain't doing it? That ain't right, man. That's what so I started getting angry. I wasn't just angry at God. I was angry at the church. This goes back to what we was talking about in part 1 with your journey, man. I was angry because it seemed like of all the supposed prophets we got in the church and all the supposed gifts that we have in the church, could nobody come over to my house and pray and I be healed? Yes. I'm like, we ain't like, so I was mad at God and the church.
I don't want to take any steam away from your story, but if I'm honest, as a believer, it is very, very tough to try to deal with and understand how God works when it comes to certain things for believers. And I say this because I've given up everything that I enjoyed as a sinner. to be with God.
Mm.
And I do have an expectation.
Mm.
I don't know if I'm wrong for that, but I do have an expectation. If I give all of this up, there's all of this enjoyment that I had, whether it was self-enjoyment or the devil giving me enjoyment, I'm coming on God's side to live for him.
And you can't
I
do it.
have an expectation. But you're going to let these sinners, you're going to let them win?
So, to your point, I would sometimes get from some people the whole, man, your faith ain't strong. Your faith ain't strong enough. If your faith was stronger, I mean, essentially they're saying if your faith was stronger, you would have been healed by
So
now.
you telling me this mustard seed of faith that the Bible talks about, you telling me my faith
I ain't got the mustard.
crazy to hear.
That's basically what they was telling me. I ain't got the mustard seed. I got a half of that or not or a quarter of that, but I ain't got the whole seed. And so you're dealing with physical pain, you're dealing with emotional pain, psychological pain, and then the pain of people telling you you need to be better. If you think yourself better, then you stand in the way of your own healing type of thing. And you're sitting there saying to yourself, I honestly think I have it. Because there were honest mates. There were days on my journey, man, where I'm claiming these scriptures, where I'm by his stripes I'm healed. I'm saying these things to myself. I'm claiming them. I'm singing songs, suffering in the bed. I'm like, where else do I need to go to exhibit or to display? And I believe. So that third day, man, was tough, man. Whoo. Well, a month passed and there was minimal improvement. There was minimal improvement. My doctor says, hey, man, because of how bad you were, you're going to need another round of the PICC line medicine. Well, the insurance company said, we're not paying for that. And, long story short, we got it done. You had to read the book to find out what happened. But I remember I'm laying in bed. I woke up one morning, man, and my legs felt different. I said, man, this is different than what, And we're in about February now, I think, beginning of February. I swung my legs on the side of the bed. I said, man, they're not in pain like that. I stood up and I started walking around the room. Now, if and when I tried to walk previously, man, the pain was so intense, it felt like I was walking on sharp rocks barefoot. That was what the pain would feel like.
Right.
So I called my wife upstairs, babe, get up here. And she see me walking, we crying. So my doctor's like, well, listen, man, you've been on some hard medicine. Let's try to wean you off. So as I weaned off, though, I started going backwards again.
Okay.
And so I finally came back to church. I'm leaving a lot out because y'all got to get this book. I finally got back to church, but I would preach on Saturday and I'd be on the bed until Wednesday. And then I would gear myself up to do it all over again. I preach on Saturday, be in the bed till like Wednesday, Thursday. That happened for about a good 6 months, And then a year later, the symptoms came back. I'm back in the hospital. Then about 2 years later, so that's kind of been a cycle of my life over the last 17, 18 years. I get a little better and then it comes or whatever. And it always surges around the same time, that September, October. I remember one cycle of my journey, I had just gotten home from the hospital. And I remember I said, you know what, God, maybe I didn't read the fine print. Maybe there were some things I didn't understand. So let's do this. I think it's best that you probably go your way and I go mine.
Wow.
Because this is not working out anymore.
That's real.
That's where I was, man. I was like, this ain't working out. Maybe I missed something in the scripture. I missed something. I didn't read the fine print because this cycle of you're gonna get a little better, then you're gonna get worse. Then you're gonna get better, then you're gonna get bad again. I'm like, I can't keep doing that and keep coming to you and keep the. And so that's where I was, man. I said, it's been a nice ride. We've had some fun, but this is probably where I need to get off the train. And when I woke up the next morning, man, I was so apologetic. I was so sorry. I realized, I don't know the ways and mind of God, but I'd be lying if I say I wasn't being authentic in what I was saying. That's just where I was, man. I was frustrated with getting better, getting work, get better, So that's been my journey for almost 18 years now. And the older I get, the more challenging it gets. I told someone about 3 years ago, I said, I'm tired of being the poster child for pain.
Man.
And, people will see me, man, appreciate your messages, da, 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 da. And I'm just at the point, I'm like, man, but you have no idea the what it took just to get to, it takes, there have been some cycles. I remember one cycle, man, I got to the point where I was just like, you know what, God, if this is your calling on my life, because of what you want to do in me or in others, then I accept it. I guess that was in a more mature space. But I've been in some other spaces where I'm just like, man, I don't want this no more. I don't want to, I'm tired of it, take it
And this is
from me.
going on till this day.
To this day, man. I had just last year, I went down. I was out for about 6 months, couldn't walk, couldn't talk. And just the frustration of not being present. I told my wife, I live with an incredible amount of guilt for the seasons that I'm not present. And obviously, as a great wife, she's like, it ain't your fault. You ain't that. I get all that. But I'm saying for me, I just live with guilt for the times that I can't be present and accounted for, don't have the energy, not able to.
Yeah.
And I've asked God if he would just, man, restore, the years for me, man, for my children, man, because you blink and they grow up. But I wouldn't wish my journey on nobody, man, because of the challenges and difficulty. But that being said, I don't know if I would have the relationship that I have with God if this were not my story.
As we get ready to land this plane,
Yeah.
I want you to talk about, because it's been going on for 17, 18 years, and it's tough, the back and forth, pain and everything.
Yeah.
What gets you through? We don't want to over spiritualize anything, but what really gets you through these difficult times?
I think my answer would be different based on the season I'm in. So I was out of town this past weekend. I was preaching somewhere, and this young man comes up to me and says, Pastor, you don't know me, but you changed my life. I've been going through a health journey too. I've been following your whole journey.
Mm-hmm.
I told my parents bye one day because I didn't think I was gonna make it. But just seeing you and what you're going through and how God used you, he said, man, I'm in school studying to go into ministry now. So hearing that, you walk away saying, all right, God, use me to help, you know what I mean, this brother. Those experiences are a blessing and help me realize, okay, you're not just here taking up space. Your pain has a purpose, right? Sometimes music gets me through. Sometimes just laughing gets me through. I think the biggest thing that's helped me, man, to be honest with you though, and I don't mean to sound spiritual when I say this, but what's helped me is to realize that that my pain actually does have a purpose. So one of my like mantras for life is your greatest place of pain is your place of purpose. To understand your why and why God put you in the earth, I think whatever's broken you the most is a window into understanding why you're here. And my journey has given me a great window into understanding why God put me on this earth. And so it helps me to get through when I know and understand that I'm walking in purpose. And helping people understand their why. It gives me great joy, man, when I'm able to stand in front of people. When I do part of my work in the prison, and I go into prison and let the brothers and sisters know, just because you behind the wall doesn't mean your life is over. You know what I mean? There's purpose in your life even here, and for some of you, you're getting out one day. You gonna allow your life to have meaning, or you just gonna keep wasting time, right? So that gives me, it helps me wake up in the morning, man. Mornings are very challenging for me because I wake up in a lot of pain sometimes. And, you know, the easy thing would be to just stay in bed and wallow in why me. Because I told God, man, if you need some people that you can give this to, I got some names for you. You know what I'm saying? If you need to get, but I could wallow in that, or I can get up and say, man, God, just give me strength for one more day. Help me get through this thing one more day, man. And so I tell you, I am a lot more appreciative of life. Just a lot more appreciative of the gift of life and being able to open my eyes in the morning. My appreciation for life is a lot different now, because I probably should have checked out of here 18 years ago. I probably should have. Medically, it was a recipe for disaster. I should have checked out. Or to the degree where I wasn't able to bounce back to where I am now. Now, the truth is, I don't remember what my body felt like before this happened. Right? So what would really, if somebody felt how I felt on a regular basis, they'd be like, man, this is a lot of pain. But it's just a new normal for me. And I've decided, man, that I am not just going to do nothing. I'm not going to just stay in bed or whatever. You know what I mean? So what gets me through, man, is to know it's a lot of purpose in my pain.
I want to close with this, and I want you to think about this question.
Okay.
As we get ready to close. Make sure you be on the lookout for the book. I want to definitely say that book is coming.
Yeah.
I want to
still standing. My fight
with
Lyme disease. Yeah.
I want to ask you this, and even though you're still going through the journey, once cure happens or potential restoration happens, it could or it couldn't.
Yeah.
But I want you to think about this question. Would you do it all over again? Think about
it. Man, I need one of y'all guests to come on here, man, because Mace be coming with these questions. You like, man, you been thinking about this all day? Would I do it all over again?
Think about the young man that went into ministry. Think about
do what all over again?
Go through what you're going through now.
I guess the spiritual answer would be yes. Part of me.
Give me the real answer though.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a real one. Part of me says I wouldn't want to go through this again. That's part of me. I think the greater part of me can't see my life without it. So in that regards, I think I would, man. As crazy as it sounds, I don't think I would be where I'm at today, just with my mindset and how I think and what's important to me, what's most important to me, if I didn't go through this. So, knock on wood, yeah, I'll do it again.
Wow. These are the journeys that we're currently in right now.
I don't believe I just said that, but yeah, I think I would.
These are our journeys. I mean, this is, folks, this is what we're living. If you don't know anybody that's going through things, you got two folks right here that's going through them right now.
Two city boys, man.
Two city boys going through it right now. Wash, 18 years in. Me, I'm about a year and a half, almost 2 years in with me. And I won't sit up here and tell you that it's not tough. It's tough.
It's annoying.
I know it's annoying. I know I get discouraged.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna sit here like I don't. I get blown with God. I try not to have, pity parties or anything like that. I just try to tough things out for the most part, because I know a pity party is not going to do anything. But these are our journeys.
Yeah.
And we're always hoping for the best. So we hope that this can encourage somebody. We hope that this can, help somebody to understand where we are, where they may be if anybody's going through, anything. And this is a situation that didn't mean to cut you, but this is a situation.
Why'd you do it then?
Why did I do it?
No, I'm just.
We ain't gonna stop. But this is a situation where it's not for lack of getting yourself checked out or going to the doctor. Yeah. This is just something that happened.
Life
just happened.
Yeah.
My situation, if I would have just, gone to the doctor, gotten regular checkups and all of that stuff, stayed on top of my health, then maybe I wouldn't be in the situation, because things potentially could have been caught. That's why it's so important to make sure you check on your health. If you just got to get your numbers, get your numbers. If you got to get the lab work, just get the lab work. Just find out something.
Because you know what your body is supposed to feel like.
You know what it's supposed to
feel like. And you know what it's not supposed to feel like.
Absolutely. So that's why we want to just, we focusing on this 2-part series of our, health journeys. And there may be a surprise. You may have a third. A buddy of mine reached out to me, and he is willing to come on and talk about his cancer.
Get out of here.
Willing to talk about his cancer.
Wow. Let's do it.
That punished him.
Come on.
So we gonna get the schedules together.
Okay.
And we may end up doing a part 3. If we can't get the schedules together, then we'll just move on to the next topic, because we got a lot of topics. I know with when I did my health journey, I got some feedback that was tough. Very, very tough. These people that, they question God.
Wow.
They, told me,
because of journey,
because of the journey that they're currently in, just let me live in my sorrow.
Wow.
Why are you trying to send me encouragement?
Really?
It was tough and legitimate. So we got a lot of topics. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
And put in, if you want us to address, City Boys, you want us to address a particular topic, throw that in there as well. And we'll do our best to chop it up about it.
Like, share, and subscribe so we can keep going. So for City Boys Podcast, yours truly, D Mace.
Wash here, Northeast.
Yeah, they got TNT. That's all they got over there is just TNT. Southeast the Beast. We got all the go-go bands and everything coming out of Southeast.
Here we go. All right.
We're going to leave that alone, but we thank y'all for watching.
Definitely.
And make sure you, again, like, share, and subscribe. City Boys, we out.
We out.
Yeah, let's go, gang. Yeah. What's up, G? Hey. The whole Minnesota Avenue, let's get it. Rochester, Prairie Farms, Lincoln Heights, yeah. Round the circle and down bottom, we getting dirty with it, yeah. 666 to the up